Yes, and I'm not referring to one of the factors that have, in my opinion, made Ripple controversial as well as effective. I don't give it as much thought as I used to. We rotate the barge as much as possible. How can we make the barge more prosperous? I think I'm mainly comparing governments and banks to barges using your product, said Ripple. We have the technology to allow every financial institution on the planet to settle with every other financial institution in a compatible jurisdiction in any asset in seconds for less than a penny. Just think about this. That is the best way to have the biggest impact. Engaging the system to get the barge to be far more efficient in terms of speed, cost, accuracy will then enable the Internet of Value and have a bigger impact on the whole economy. Anyone with a payment history is aware of this, though we're far from that presently. We currently have the technology to enable any asset that is fundamentally disruptive to be settled with every other financial institution in seconds for less than a penny. The only thing left to do is figure out how to accelerate the adoption. I had assumed that he would wind up in jail, and you know what? I didn't keep up with the case. Very closely, it's obvious that laws were broken. I'm not sure what's going through his head. I knew him, so I knew his intention. Well, I do know him a little. Undoubtedly, something takes place that you're thinking, it's just too hard for me to accomplish. To compute the course of such events, I consider how Ripple has operated. And as a formal establishment such as, it can't happen as far as our compliance team, chief legal officer, and the rest of the team are concerned. I don't know if there are many controls in place there, and while I think this is unfortunate and detrimental to cryptocurrency, I also believe that in the lengthy journey that cryptocurrency has taken, you two seem to be aware of each other's speed. And that has made the sector more resilient and hopefully smarter. Let's speak about XRP, which enables instantaneous payments between parties like banks. What kind of traction precisely are you observing? I'm overjoyed to see the kind of traction folks are experiencing with let's use digital assets to tackle a practical issue. Historically, I believe the cryptocurrency ecosystem has seen a lot of hype, a lot of experimentation, and we can observe what we're doing. Utilizing XRP truly quicken the adoption and enlist ADV assistance banks profit from what can be achieved through. There is, of course, a UAL asset. Established play in Swift already, How much are you hurting Swift's business? Since Swift is a company that has undoubtedly defined the way that cross-border payments are enabled, we regard it favorably. That has also been there for a few decades, at most. Since the system has been in place for almost 40 years, we believe there is a chance to update it for the internet age, when a quick transaction can now take days and you're never quite sure if it's now that it's here. It resembles a postcard. You only find out when your pal says, "Hey, me, after reading that, I imagined an internet world where people assumed I could order an Uber and have it arrive immediately." As you may recall, do you have these anticipations? People's opinions about how the contemporary financial system ought to operate. Realize that this is the worst system available. The problem lies in the fact that banks, fund managers, corporations, and individuals with substantial wealth are subject to fees. Transaction fees, but it goes beyond that. Essentially, it's the settlement procedure. It isn't able to accomplish rapid settlement, and many people don't seem to realize that Ripple can do it instantly, and with any kind of currency. Not just money, but any kind of asset would work for them to accomplish this. The leading messaging platform for the financial sector is called Swift, and it handles nodal reconciliations, FX transactions in securities, and payments, etc. For the majority of its financial transactions, Swift would need service-level agreements that state, "I will do something at a certain time, and the payment turns up at a certain time." This is what we're looking for with cryptocurrency, though. We're looking at new network patterns here during the day that enable real-time, instantaneous fund transfer and visibility, preventing the need for banks to contact you later to say they have your money. Arrived 3 days later. I need to find out or discover inquiry messages circulating throughout the network. Nothing akin to that. I don't think Swift will be replaced by Ripple. One of the complementary networks is Ripple, which will enable organizations that require real time to utilize it. And we're probably witnessing that as well. Swift is modifying its network capabilities to enable real time as well. But Ripple XRP may also circulate as a currency on the Swift network at some point when we might be utilizing something akin to FX. The two largest GPMs are basically Citibank and HSBC. The top three are those. In other words, to some extent, Ripple is competing with both the messaging and liquidity of Swift and the Citi, since we're both messaging and liquidity banks. When you send Swift messages, you're sending to banks to release liquidity and ensure the debits and credits match. Tell me right here, Brad, and you'll see where this goes. Let's have a look at what we have available in terms of cryptocurrency. You are aware that you are among the leaders there, but the truth is that they are as well. Many of you guys are right. I do agree with you. There are, in my opinion, too many. I believe you may be aware of the approximately 3,000 distinct digital assets that are traded every day at this point. A new market has emerged. Many people enter that market and attempt to demonstrate their problem-solving abilities. They can provide what a client needs. I have previously stated in public that I believe 99% of all cryptocurrency will probably go away, but there is that 1% that, in my opinion, is focused on providing a real solution for real customers and can do so at scale. I believe that this 1% will change the game and continue to grow significantly over the years. Indeed, this is probably one of the causes of the extreme price volatility we are seeing today, but you want to be a unit of transfer here, much like a currency, but the issue is that if you send money to someone else, it might not be worth as much when they want to cash it in. This is where you create some stability in the system. It appears like this is a fabrication. It turns out that enabling a rapid transaction can take 2 to 3 days because the volatility is calculated based on both time and volatility. Whereas an XRP transaction takes a few seconds, it turns out that enabling a Swift transaction has much higher volatility than enabling an XRP transaction because, at the time, we just wrote a post on the Ripple website explaining the math behind this. However, it turns out that the volatility risk is lower with an XRP transaction. We're pretty concerned about the sell-off we're seeing in Ripple, and they say that it's bigger than expected. Should we be concerned? Thinking about it, I believe that the sell-off in XRP is probably more likely than a sell-you since Ripple is a private company with shareholders. As such, you are unable to trade Ripple shares. However, we pay attention over the long term. I tell the staff that I don't think about 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months when it comes to utilizing digital assets to improve transaction efficiency. I believe this is a 10-year journey. You could even call it a marathon. And we're currently at approximately mile 2, so I don't think about the price of XRP shortly. In my opinion, the cost of a music transaction can be reduced if we can make XRP the most efficient platform in terms of transaction speed. Once upon a time, the industry leader in interbank payments was Swift is a worldwide messaging platform that links financial institutions and banks. Yet, the emergence of a new technology called Ripple. It gradually started to cause disruptions in the sector. Without the need for middlemen, Ripple's blockchain-based platform enabled very immediate and inexpensive cross-border payments while also offering improved security and transparency, giving banks a compelling reason to choose it, seeking to enhance their payment methods. As more banks adopted Ripple, its appeal increased, and it quickly overtook Swift as the most popular product on the interbank payment network. The advantages of Ripple's platform were just too substantial to overlook, and as the company's on-demand liquidity of the ODL product increased, so did the usage of its digital asset, XRP. ODL permits financial institutions and banks can utilize XRP as a bridge currency to speed up and lower the cost of cross-border payments by using it as a substitute for traditional bank transactions. Utilizing XRP and ODL, the cryptocurrency's demand surged, increasing its. Investors took note as price institutions started purchasing XRP in bulk to make sure they had enough liquidity to process payments. Acknowledging that Ripple's technology could completely transform the financial sector, they started acquiring XRP in bulk, which sent its value through the roof. As Ripple gained more traction, it became evident that the financial sector would never be the same. The conventional techniques for cross. As a quicker, more effective, and secure payment option in the end, Ripple's success caused a boom. XRP's value has increased, positioning it as one of the most valuable cryptocurrencies available. The introduction of XRP and its odal product and the creativity of Ripple permanently altered the financial landscape.